Good morning, hiker community. And it is a beautiful morning. A little muggy. Hadn't experienced mugginess on this trip yet. So anyway, stayed at the shelter last night. Actually slept in the shelter, which is unusual for me. But originally they were calling for 80% storms. So my expectation was if I didn't do it, I'd be putting up a wet tent. There was two other gentlemen, one who had just retired a few days ago. That's awesome. Maybe I'll get to do that one day. And I think another one had been retired for a while. And they were actually in-laws. And they were the only ones in the shelter, the 8-man shelter, roughly. Although the top bunk section, the roof was so low, it's really unusable. You had to set up your stuff from the lower level, which means if you got there, which is usually the case, and the lower level was taken, then you'd have to work around or step on everybody else's stuff. So anyway, got to the shelter as a 16.5-mile day, more than I wanted. A couple years ago, 16 was my sweet spot. That is not the case anymore, especially after not being on trail for 8 months, and due to my mom, my broke wrist, and circumstances. Yeah, so it's tough. So the hills here in Shenandoah are tough. I had this stupid idea, that a Pollyanna idea, that it was going to be flat going. Just going to cruise right through the shanty. Not the case. Just as many hills here as anywhere else on the AT. Now I'm on the southern end. Hadn't got to the first public camping area yet, but anyway, that's what I'm experiencing so far. Tell you a little bit about day one, because I never got around to day two. Because day two turned into 16.3 miles and I was wore out at the end of the day. So on day one, a couple things that I told you yesterday I'd tell you about. One, first time I get to and this is a, hey, check your gear before you leave warning for function and everything else. So I got to the first point where I needed water, and lo and behold, my filter's not working. Ain't nothing coming out of it. And that's a problem, right? Because I don't drink water without filtering it. But I was tired. It was getting dark, like headlight dark. Matter of fact, after that stop, I had to get my headlight out. Decided that was just stupid. And I tried to, couldn't get anything out of it. Did not go through the process of back flushing, so just filled up my water bottles. The water was a spring, so it's coming right out the side of the mountain. Wasn't a creek. So if you're gonna not treat, and I hear people not treating all the time. I don't think it's smart, but I don't want giardia either. And anyway, there's a place I wasn't going to treat it. It was there. So, two things I learned from that. One, I need to bring a little bit of Aquamira, water or tablets, either one. I need to bring something to purify water. It's not going to get the floaties out of it, but it will purify it enough where it'll kill the parasites. So, that's lesson one. And lesson two, No, lesson 1 is check your gear. Lesson 2 is bring you an alternative method. And I think I can do that without adding a lot of weight. Pretty certain about that. Anyway, filled up and drank the water out of the one bottle. The one bottle I did filter it just through my bandana to try to get the floaties out of it. And anyway, finally got to camp, and I was in a desperate situation there, as I indicated, because water sources through the shanties are few and far between. For instance, I'm leaving the shelter now. I got 12.3 to Black Rock Gap, and there's no water sources. So 2 liters has got to do me. Or there's none on far out anyway. So anyway, drink the water. I don't know how long the gestation period of Giardia is before it starts giving you the shivering fits, but so far I hadn't got it. The next day I did back flush because of the water situation. I filled up with 2 liters plus 2 liters in my Ceanoc dirty water bag, and of course I was just too wiped out at camp to even eat supper. All I could do was and get my tent up and sleeping system together and go to bed and put up my food. And I didn't even do a decent bear hang. I just put it in a tree about 7 feet off the ground. So that was pretty worthless, but just getting it away from me. So if I heard something, it would be a ways away. And nothing got into it. So no harm, no foul, I suppose. But anyway, so the next day I back flushed it with what I had, and that did the trick. So back flushed it with my Ceanoc, my dirty water bag, because I could get good pressure with that, and back flushed it and then flushed back through it, back flushed it, flushed back through it. Did that about half a dozen times, and it began flowing, and it's been flowing ever since. So good on me. Bad on me for not doing it at the house. Good on me for getting it took care of on the trail. Looked like there was some type of minerals or maybe dirt in it before, because the first couple times I did it, the water was colored. So anyway, that was the first thing that I had an issue with on my gear choices. I'll share some more throughout the day. This particular day, I'm going to go across the Skyland Drive several times. And what I'm considering doing is slack packing. So get within 6 miles of the truck or the car as I'm coming out today. Hide my gear, take my water bottle with me, and beat feet up the trail. So that's my plan. Oh, and this isn't the first one, but this is the first one in the park I've seen, these posts that mark the trail with the aluminum bands on you. And they give the mileage and all that neat stuff on it. So Black Rock Hut and Spring is 12.1. So I am shy of that. I'm less than that. No horses. Okay. And they always warn you about, you got to have backcountry. Their backcountry rules and regulations. Okay, all right, let me get on down the trail and we'll chat later. Well, while I'm on a flat section here, which are few and far between in the shanties, I wanted to get on my soapbox. So left Sawmill Overlook, couple pulled up with a giant freaking black lab, and he is ready to play. And there ain't a leash in sight. So to begin with, we're in the Shenandoah National Park. You're required to have your dog on a leash. He comes running over to us, sniffs another hiker's pack. I thought he was getting ready to pee on it, but it was up on a stone wall, so he just peed next to it. Of course, she's got to walk over there to it and dodge his pee. So he's totally out of control from his people. Then they get on trail in front of me, just 100 yards. I get on trail and she's standing on the side of the trail, and her, I don't know, she looked considerably older than her husband, but maybe it's her son, or maybe that was, he just a lot younger than her. Or anyway, and I'm looking up there at the dog, and she looks at the dog and then looks at me, and it's obvious the dog is squatting in the middle of the trail and letting loose doggy do. And I'm kind of looking at her like, okay, you know, she's giving him his room, it's obvious, his privacy, so to speak. And I guess labs might have performance issues, I don't know. But anyway, I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, didn't say anything. He got done, started running right to me, and then bounded past me, I guess to go see Pops. And she's not made a move to go clean it up. And it's one of these big, I've been needing a crap for 200 miles type of doggy poop. So I go up there, look at it. Yep, he's there. Look back at her. She's not looking at me, right? So I said, hey, your dog left a mess up here. And that's a pet peeve of mine. Dogs on trail that are not controlled, not on a leash, and dogs pooping in the middle of the trail. And more importantly, their parents not cleaning it up. She is, Henry did that? And she just came up there like she was just completely oblivious to the fact that Henry would do that in the middle of the trail. Well, she sat right there and watched him assume the position. So don't give me that, lady. And then she came up and looked at it. She goes, we'll get to work on that. What the heck does that mean? Are you just going to shove it over in the woods? Are you going to do anything with it? Are you going to go back to your car and get a plastic bag and take it back to your car? What are you going to do? Throw it in a trash can? What are you going to do with that? So that's just a pet peeve of mine about dogs on trail. And I've seen, that ain't the first dog poop I've seen on trail this time, but sure is the first time I've seen the dog do it. And their mama, daddy just sit there and watch them, and then, oh, not Henry. Whatever. Clean up, bring what you need to clean up your dog's stuff. And if you're on trail, any trail, put it on a leash. Because you never know when somebody's going to come around the corner, and that's how people get dog bit. I've almost been dog bit. I've certainly been backed down by a dog before. And it don't do anything but give you an adrenaline rush. And then you come off the adrenaline rush, and it sucks because it's just like a sugar crash. You just feel like crap. So, leash your dogs, clean up the crap. That's my soapbox for the day. Well, I am coming into the last few miles of the hike. I ditched my pack back there, so I got 6 miles to go from where I ditched my pack. So I'm slack packing or no packing myself. So here on the Skyland Drive, Shenandoah National Park, the Skyland Drive runs right through the middle of it in the trail. The Appalachian Trail crosses it on numerous occasions. And so there was a crossing 6 miles before where my car's parked at Black Rock Gap. I parked it at there, the Wildcat Trailhead. And so slack, I'm no packing the last 6 miles, and I'm about halfway into that. You know, I don't know there's that much difference. I mean, yeah, there is going up hills, but cruising through this is not. And start looking at my watch, and I mean, I'm looking at 169 beats a minute right now with no pack on. think I was doing better with a pack on. So it tells me I got to slow it down because my terminal heart rate is 160. So you take, to get your maximum heart rate that you're supposed to do, you take 220 minus your age. So 220 minus 60, 160. I'm on 169 right now. I don't know if sweat messes it up or something, because I'm not hiking wide open right now. Got no pack. So now yesterday at one point it said 187. What the freak? That is terminal velocity. And then later on today I was going up a hill and it was 130. So I don't know about the accuracy of it. It's a Garmin watch. It's a decent watch. So anyhow, that is how I'm going to finish my hike. And this has actually been a pretty, not flat of course, but plenty, as they say, cruisy, as Rabbit would say, the thru-hiker, a cruisy section. Still got some hills, but this is the first section I've been in that's got the longest amount of relatively flat. As flat as the AT gets. So anyway, that is what I'm doing, getting ready to wind this up in just a few miles. Got a couple more climbs and a couple more road crossings, and I hope my pack is, I hope I remember to stop getting my pack. I tend to be Katie bar the door about getting home once I get in that car. Actually, to get to the first Burger King. So I know I've started this new lifestyle of not eating high processed foods and seed oils and red meat and stuff, but I always reward myself with a Whopper whenever I get off trail. That's probably, so I'm expending 4,000 calories 3 to 4 a day, right? That's probably half of that, if not more, right there. Certainly a lot of carbs, but that's the only time I ever eat a fast food burger, when I'm coming off trail. So been 8 months since I had one. I'm gonna go ahead and get one today on the way home. All right, I'll probably chat with you one more time before we're done with this heathen. Hopefully by then my heart rate will come down. All right, chat with you in a bit. It was really good seeing some subscribers and meeting folks out here, people that watch the channel. Typically I do that. It just happens, I guess. Hiker community, you get out here, statistically you're going to be around more of people that possibly watch the channel. But anyway, it's awful good to meet people that you know, they know you. You don't. There's no way I could know them. But it's really nice to connect with them out here, and as usual, the trail is a great equalizer. So we all get out here and we're all going up and down the same hills as each other and dealing with the same aches and pains and lack of water and stuff like that. So anyway, it was nice to see all those folks. And sorry, I'm not going to mention any names. I met through hikers and section hikers. If I did, I'd leave people out, and I don't want to do that. So, well, I am coming to the last several tenths of a mile, getting to the car, and that'll be 40 miles plus. So came Thursday, Friday, today's Saturday. Recap: got on trail late, getting off trail around 2-ish. Got on trail at 3:30-ish before. Had to do a night hike the first day. That was when I discovered that Shenandoahs are dry. It's just a long distance in between water sources. Sometimes it's 12 miles. Sometimes it's shelter to shelter, so it's kind of crazy. But anyway, I've enjoyed the hike. I've learned a few things. Check your gear. I told you about my old freaking filter that I had to back flush on trail, and I wound up having to drink some unfiltered water, which I don't do. So there's that. And then I also realized when I went to make me a cup of coffee that I had forgotten my French press. So I've got the Jet Boil French press version, but the French press portion of it I didn't have. And I think I took it out when I did another hike, either in PA or the foothills or somewhere. But I took it out to use it, see if it would work on just a regular like Tokes titanium, something other than my Jet Boil, and it did work, and I did leave it in it. So there we go. So always check your gear, make sure everything's functioning. I thought I made sure I had everything, but take everything apart and get an accountability. Probably not a good idea, particularly at my age, to come out and bust out a 40 over difficult terrain when you hadn't done it in 8 months. My Achilles tendon is bothering me, which of course is causing my plantar fasciitis to bother me. So that's not a good thing. I don't know how long it's going to take me to recover from that. Also, if you watch the channel, you know I broke my wrist, had a plate put in. That's done surprisingly well, but my back injury has not. And so that's been getting to me on trail. So learned a few things out here. Probably going to need to take a little more time off before I bust out another 40 over 3 days. We'll see. Next time we'll probably be back up here in the shanties. But unless something else comes up, appreciate you, and I hope to see you out here.